More than 200 bills passed during the 2024 legislative session are now officially state law.
Some went into effect on July 1st. The rest became statutory law today. We're taking a look at some of the bigger and more notable measures. A new Guardians program is being implemented in the Commonwealth. It allows some veterans and former police officers to serve in schools. Senate Bill 2, sponsored by Senator Max Wise, also calls on districts to create trauma-informed teams to improve mental health interventions. Then there's Senate Bill 20. Teens who are between 15 and 18 years old that are charged with violent offenses involving a gun will now be tried as adults. Long-range drivers might see some relief with Senate Bill 46. Senator Greg Elkins of Winchester sponsored this legislation, which gives motorists permission to tint the entire front windshield of their vehicle. 70% of light must still be able to pass through. This will put Kentucky in line with federal safety standards and does not allow for red or yellow tinting material. 12 and 13-year-olds will be able to be employed by nonprofits thanks to Senate Bill 128. The bill's sponsor says it will help teach them life and employment skills. Organizations will need to get approval from the state, and teens cannot work more than 18 hours a week. Cursive now a requirement in elementary schools. Senate Bill 167 states teachers must ensure that students are proficient in cursive handwriting by the end of 5th grade. In the other chamber, House Bill 378 changes the official state rock to coal. Every student bus rider and at least one of their parents must now sign a transportation agreement with their school district, according to House Bill 446. It would explain any consequences for misbehavior. House Bill 30 creates a suicide prevention program for service members, veterans, and their families. And more oversight for parents with House Bill 174. Guardians will have access to their child's medical records. Currently, those 13 and older must sign a waiver for their parents to get access.